I'm Irving, and I'm an Adamaniac. One of the more interesting things about this show was you never knew where you might find yourself as an episode began.
Gotham State Prison, a grim and foreboding edifice. It, like politics, has been the last refuge of many a scoundrel.
That's where we're usually headed at the end of an episode. But unlike the average politician, Shame is actually getting a visit from the woman he intends to marry. And in real life, he already did. That's Cliff Robertson's wife, Dina Merrill.
Now, don't you fret none, Shame, honey. We uns is gonna get you unsprung right quick.
Well, is you uns gonna tell us'uns in the audiences what the caper is'uns?
Well, I appreciate it mighty much, Frontier Fanny and Calamity Jan.
Sorry, I momentarily forgot who you two were.
But I find this here hoose gal's tighter than a New England banker.
I don't want to know any more than that about the banker.
You just mosey on by the left wall of this here pokey about 15 past 5. And 325 wild horses will meet you.
Weens is gonna find out what them wild horses is up to right here in a jiffy. Not only is this pseudo-Western talk irritating, it's contagious. Shame is in the yard playing horseshoes with someone. I guess letting the prisoners throw heavy metal horseshoes around at each other is part of Warden Crichton's advanced penal techniques. The warden can't say I didn't warn him about the horseshoe. They have a bright red tank with white treads. Well, at least they'll blend into rush hour traffic as long as they have a horn.
Excellent fondue, Barbara.
Ah, the 60s, when fondue was a pop culture reference.
It isn't often a bachelor gets a chance for a good home-cooked meal.
Ah, the 60s, when fondue was considered a home-cooked meal. Chief O'Hara calls to tell Commissioner Gordon that Shame has escaped. Gordon says, use the red phone and hold the two phones together. Bruce is suddenly distracted from his fondue.
That's the signal for the bad answer phone to be put into action.
Why doesn't Robin just answer?
Yes, Commissioner?
Dreadful news, Batman.
Exactly what's wrong, Commissioner?
Shame has just fled Gotham City State Prison. Can you meet me in my office?
We'll be right there, Commissioner.
Gordon has gotten so predictable, Batman can anticipate the whole conversation right down to the timing. I wonder how well the tape would work if Gordon suddenly said, Bats, old buddy, how's it hanging?
Yes, I think I should be running along as well, Barbara. It wouldn't be proper for the two of us to be here alone in your apartment without a chaperone.
You being a naive young girl on your own, me being a millionaire playboy and man of the world, there's no telling what might happen if we were left alone for a time. As quick as Gordon left, she showed him.
But what about my fondue?
Load up a couple of forks and stuff them in your pockets.
That is a fondant.
Barbara's line takes us into the opening theme, and I noticed something odd about the credits. What happened to Frontier Fanny? She doesn't get equal billing? Why? She was working the tank too. In fact, she'll play a bigger part in the plot than Calamity Jan will.
Where in the world did they ever get a tank?
Madman Otto's used tank lot. Bacora, is he mad now?
Why did they scratch the fenders? Why is it legal to have a used tank lot in Gotham City?
Oh, that's good news. Thank you, sir, for calling. They found the tank on West 20th Street.
Is it still there?
No, they towed it away. The parking meter had run out.
Hey, I do the dumb jokes around here.
Yes, Bonnie?
There's something in the outer office for you, Commissioner.
Exactly what, Bonnie? We're quite busy, you know.
A horse.
They couldn't afford to rent another tank.
Tanks in the street, a horse in my outer office. Has the whole world gone batty? Just an expression, Batman. No slight intended.
I understand.
We understand, Mr. Dutyhead.
This is what she meant, Commissioner. A sawhorse. And there's a note attached to it addressed to Batman.
Why didn't Bonnie say sawhorse? She could have saved her boss an ulcer and Batman an insult. And this note, you decide.
Hereby am a telling you that I'm a gonna rob the Gotham City stage
at 8:45 tonight. I'm gonna steal a rock and a roll.
'Cause if you done talks like that, you done writs like that.
I dares you to figure it out, dynamic dum-dum. Best regards, your enemy, Shame.
While they're all pondering it, Barbara comes in and innocently looks over the letter. Batman and Robin head off to put the letter through the Bat computer and see what it can come up with. We won't be with them, though. It's time to meet the rest of Shame's gang.
This here's Fernando Ricardo Enrique Dominguez. We calls him Fred for short, because it's his initials.
Howdy. The pleasure is entirely mine, you may be sure.
He's from one of the more prominent families in Mexico, you know.
And this here's Chief Standing Pat.
How?
That means it's going to be great working with you, and I hope to get to know you better real soon.
You got all that for one puff?
He talks in shorthand.
Oh my, I like what we're doing here. Shame himself is supposed to be a send-up of the typical Western cowboy of the movies and TV, uneducated, inarticulate, thinking with his gun all the time. He's not a very good one. These guys are. We're making fun of every non-white stereotype from every Western ever made from the days of the dime novels up to the present time. And over the next 2 episodes, it'll only get better.
We're going to do something which I like to refer to as the Great Train Robbery. That's scarcely original, you know. A big mouth is better when it's shut, Fred. So keep your tongue harnessed and you'll have a thin lip. I stand chastised.
Fred could easily become my favorite character of the whole series. Shame says, a rock and a roll is part 1 of my plan, and we can't go on to part 2 until we finish part 1. Everybody got that?
Your lucidity is surpassed only by your remarkable command and penchant for gibberish.
Well, thanks, Fred. That's mighty nice of you. We're gonna be good buddies.
At least until Fred gets his cut of the loot and goes off to find someone with a vocabulary of more than 10 words.
Now, we're gonna meet. Rendezvous at 8:30. Savvy?
Savvy.
That means ugh.
In case you didn't grow up watching old westerns because your dad was nuts about them and had one on all the time, how and ugh were the 2 Native American words that white men understood. Beyond that, the Indians spoke broken English. They could learn the white man's language well enough to communicate, but the white man could only grasp 2 words in their language, and the Indians were the ignorant savages. We're taking full advantage of the white filmmakers' ignorant racism and making something that's frankly too funny for words.
Good. Okay, now you characters get...
Cheerio.
He does that a lot. Right now, Shame has other things on his mind besides train robberies.
Is there something I can do for you?
You can't get closer than 2 feet till a marriage is arranged.
Oh, Ma, have a heart.
She's his future mother-in-law, and she's getting a head start on the job. Maybe that's why she didn't get top billing like Calamity Jan did. Who does that for a mother-in-law?
I've got it. What do criminals call a rock?
Holy carrots, a diamond.
Exactly, Robin. Now, what do they call a roll?
It might be a bankroll.
Right again, Robin. But where is the Gotham City stage?
Right on cue, the bat phone beeps.
Batman, this is Batgirl. I figured out what the Gotham City stage is, but I can't make heads or tails about the rock and the roll.
We obviously need each other, Batgirl.
Meet me at the corner of 61st Street and Washington Avenue. We'll talk then.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes, I need you, Batgirl. Let's meet and swap cowls.
Well, hello, Barbara. To what do I owe the honor of this unexpected but nevertheless welcome visit?
I have 2 tickets to the opera, and I thought you might like to be my date.
Oh, I'll have to beg off, darling. There's no time for cultural pursuits with Shame on the loose.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Yes, Batman.
May I speak with Batgirl, Commissioner?
Batgirl? But you must be mistaken, Batman. She's not here. And as far as I know, she hasn't been here.
Thank you, Commissioner. How does she do it?
Her dad can't see what's right in front of his police-trained face, that's how.
You can't come in here.
Says who, short stuff?
Well, says me. I'm Pop, the stage doorman.
Pop? You ain't old enough to drink pop, far less be called it.
Well, I'm 17, and it's a time-honored theatrical tradition that no matter how old or young the stage doorman is, his name has to be Pop.
That's right. Up until 5 years ago, he was the Beaver, but this job made him change his name to Pop. While they give Pop a pop on the head, the Bat Trio are meeting up at the Gotham City stage.
So I assumed that shame meant the Gotham City Opera House stage in that the Girl of the Golden West was opening.
That's a good assumption, Batgirl. I know for a fact that the two leading singers in that production have strange quirks, which Shame probably knew about when he talked of her rock and roll.
Such as?
Lenora Sottovoce, world's leading soprano, who never goes on stage without wearing her 283-carat diamond pendant.
I assume somebody brings her on stage in a wheelbarrow.
And Fortissimo Fra Diavolo, who always carries $20,000 in cash in his pockets for luck.
Their names are Sottovoce and Fortissimo. Soft voice and super loud.
Every time I begin my aria, you're upstaging me. Always upstaging me.
It isn't a case of upstaging you, Fortissimo. There are two leading singers in this opera, but only one great voice. Mine.
Shame is doing everybody a favor by interrupting that. While Fred and the Chief are relieving our divas of their valuables, Batman and Robin come in. It's fight time. By the time it's done, all the guys are down. Unfortunately for the Bat Trio, the key word there is guys.
Hey, Bartokas, here comes my woman's auxiliary.
That stuff is fear gas. It turns them into sniveling cowards.
Stand in front of me, Batgirl. Hey, Chief, we'll take the Batgirl with us. That way the police won't bother us none. Don't worry about them other two. They ain't worth a heck-a-darn anyway.
Take her.
Bring her on.
She's yours.
Somehow, they find their way back to the Batcave.
Robin? What is this? What are you trying to do?
He's probably poison. He wants to see us dead. He's always hated us.
Yes. You're right, Robin. You're not to be trusted either, Boy Wonder.
Hell, neither are you.
Come, Master Robin, really, sir.
It's chicken soup with a healthy dose of bat antidote. Alfred finally convinces them to eat it.
What's that beeping?
Just as soon as the world's greatest detective figures out that the beeping is coming from the blinking red thing right in front of his face. Gordon reports that the politicians are all over him demanding an arrest, and to top it all off, his daughter Barbara is missing. Odd that she disappeared right at the same time that Batgirl was kidnapped.
Feeling better, sir?
Yes, but there seems to be a slight residue of fear left. However, I must shunt this aside and press on. Let's go, Robin.
Where?
Yes, where?
Since you're police and you're after a criminal, Gordon's office might be a good place to start. But no, it's time for some Batman logic.
We've learned from past experience that Shame is happiest when he's around horses. Now, where would we find horses in the heart of Gotham City?
The police riding academy.
No. Shame wouldn't be that brazen to hide at a police stable. But there is one place he might be.
Holy hoofbeats! The Gotham Central Park stables.
We already know that's where Shame is because the narrator told us about 15 minutes ago. Let's look in on him. Shame, not the narrator.
Here's a plan. You take this grub stake out and buy a acetylene torch and a drill.
That costs $20,000? Where's he shopping?
Why don't we merely purloin those items instead of purchase them?
'Cause it don't pay none, Fred. It don't pay none to risk getting caught over small potatoes. Besides, I need you for the great train robbery.
Even Fred has to admit Shame is right about that one.
You sure he's Mexican?
You make him good squaw. Plenty of meat.
And you make 'em good rug.
Chief no talk 'em much, but when him talk 'em like this. Him need learn him English from Fred.
Oh, shame, honey. Can't you just picture how happy we're going to be?
Yeah.
You and Ma and me, living on our own spread west of Laramie.
He was picturing it until you said Ma. Then the picture kind of did a Salvador Dali on him. And I've been west of Laramie. It's nothing but high desert. The only thing you'd be able to grow there is tumbleweeds and frustration. And snakes. Plenty of those. If Shame is smart, he'll leave Ma on that spread and go find him and Jan a better one. Fred and the Chief return with the items. It's time to go.
Shame, honey.
Yeah.
You ain't worried none.
No, I ain't worried. As long as I got that horseshoe up there, that's a sign of good luck.
In some traditions, you put it pointing up like that to keep the luck in so it doesn't escape. The one I learned, you put it pointing down so the luck pours out onto you. Either way, what's going to happen to it?
Come on, pussycat. Come on. Get up. Get up. Get him. Get him.
The luck poured down right on her head. Moments later, our intrepid detectives enter and survey the room.
There doesn't seem to be anyone here.
Batman's eagle eyes don't miss a thing, even when his eagle feet are tripping over it.
Look!
That's some serious detecting right there.
They've got Batgirl and we've got Fanny.
It hardly seems like a fair trade, does it, Robin?
Hot young superhero nagging future mother-in-law. Hot young superhero nagging future mother-in-law. Hot young...
All right, where did Shame go?
What's he going to do with Batgirl?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Yes, we would like to know.
Well, I'll tell you this, dynamic dummies. Do anything to me, and Batgirl's chances of living through the night ain't worth a pitcher of warm tears.
Longtime viewers know I'm not a fan of the Shame character. But not only is this a much better story than the last one, Fred and the Chief are what was missing. Shame by himself isn't much of a caricature. Basically, he's a little boy playing cowboys who never got over it. I could never see him as a send-up of the movie Cowboys. Here, he actually calls Fred and Standing Pat Western movie characters, and they finally make it clear what the idea is. Now we have a Western spoof complete with shorthand smoke signals. I think I enjoy Fred the most. Or perhaps should I say, I believe I find Fred's verbal machinations most entertaining and enjoyable. My name is Irving, and my title is Adamaniac.